Welcome back to San Diego Market Movers. I'm your host, Jason Yoss. We're here today with Miguel Nunez. Miguel, good to see you again.
Hey, Jason, likewise. Good to see you.
So we always get a chance to talk offline. It's always great to see you. I never got to ask you this, but tell me a little bit about how'd you get started in real estate? You've been doing it for a while, so tell me how it started.
Well, it's a long story, which I'll try to make short. But as you know, I was born and raised in Mexico City. Ever since I graduated, there's been I graduated as a civil engineer. So I went to school, did civil engineering. And every time there was a new president, the economy would crumble and more and more and more to the point where I need to start looking for new horizons. So I came to San Diego, still building. I was a contractor down in Mexico. I came here and started working in construction. My first job was to remodel Fashion Island in Newport Beach. I spent 2 years over there. Again, it was a very, very fun project. So anyway, started working with that. Again, now here in the early 90s in San Diego, there was a kind of the savings and loan debacle, and the economy deflated a little bit. All the construction business went to Vegas. I didn't want to take my family to Vegas, so I stayed here in San Diego. My sister is an estate planning attorney. She does international work. And she told me, so what are you going to do? I said, well, I don't know. So she told me, I've got a client who owns many pieces of property here in San Diego, and they need somebody to manage not only the properties, but all of the rest of the business. So it was a de facto family office. I started running a family office. Then that family referred me to another family. At one point, I was managing 5 families and their business affairs here in San Diego. It evolved into me also it's called conservatorships, where the court started appointing me as a trustee for families who needed somebody to manage maybe some chunk of money that fell in through insurance. And so I did that for about 10 years. Very difficult. It was a very difficult, just the human emotions and everything was going on. But part of my business was to buy and sell property for my clients. You know, some were very wealthy, some were not. And as I started hiring the agents, I kind of was intrigued with the real estate. So at one point I said, well, I might as well, I want to learn more about it. I've always been a learner. So let me learn more about this. And I started reading, and I was at one point, well, might as well pass an exam. And I passed it right off. And my colleagues who would run trust and estates also, well, now that you have a license, well, help us with this. You know the judges, you know the attorneys. And that was back 20-some years ago. So I've been doing real estate ever since. And of course, naturally, a big chunk of our business is trust and probate sales because of my background. So it all worked out at the end.
The fact that it's such a diverse way of coming about to be a real estate expert is a huge thing, because you have this wealth of knowledge for your clients, not just your years in the business, but what your background was. And we talked a lot before about trust and probate. So it's no wonder that you're an expert in that area as well. Miguel, thanks so much for sharing your story.
Thank you
Everybody
for having
else,
me.
thanks so much for joining us on San Diego Market Movers. Make sure you tune in next time.